Hi, welcome back to Amiga 3000, Re Amiga'd, that was Re Amiga'd. Where have you been? What's going on? What's the progress? Why the hell is this taking so long? This thing was pulled apart to be a Re Amiga board, and the removal of the chips were just ripped like didn't care. So she's a war victim, and I have to do all sorts of rewiring, which I haven't done because I had to procure some parts. Just a couple. And when I order big. So, yeah, 74LS00s. That goes back here in U353. So we're going to populate that MOF right now. Hard to find this chip, man. I couldn't find it for nothing. That's one. 74LS08. I need Uno. We're almost a quarter of the way thought about not being done. I need the two chips up here. The 3000 daughter board was also procured. This is a recreation from Matthias 2018. All LEDs and little resistors and cool, man. So that's this one. I've been keeping her wrapped up. I'll put that carefully down here. My goal today with all of these parts is I gotta cross some stuff off of my childlike writing. I might have read this a long time ago, but I'm reading it again. A Pi Storm 32 Lite, an Amiga 500 accelerator, broken pin ROM tested. That's the A5000 I've never reviewed. Gotta get there. One Amiga 3000D motherboard that was 100% working, but has had various components for transplant moved to a new board. Fat Gary and the others for the above, and two others for the above board. I got the 68030 chips. We put that on. QFPs. Now this attempt at resurrection of this 3000 board is at your leisure, not urgent. There is no amber, like rocking horse shit to find. Let me know if it's possible. The missing SCSI port, I have an idea how to possibly replace that. Thanks, Mr. Jonathan. So this has been a long repair. Like, I've had this forever. I'm gonna probably be removing this battery. We got the Denise and we got all the girls in place. All the chips are in place. Soldering in some of the amber logic. Just the sockets, the whole pin out is gone. So I'm just filling the sockets in, and then I'll have to wire all this from underneath. Alright. That is those two sockets right there. Now I have to wire everything, which is fun. How do I do that? So I take Sprint Layout Viewer here, and I have the components panel up so I know what chips go in there. And I just zoom to the area. This is U451 right here. It's 244. This guy, U451. And I will just go to test and hit it. Nothing. But I have to turn on the bottom layer so I can see who's got what. The top layer is broke. The bottom layer, the rings seem to be there. So the green is the bottom layer, and also the top layer. The red is the top layer. So let me just do this for now. Blue is the top layer, sorry. So pin 1. And I'm backwards on this. So when I'm working upside down. So this is opposite. So I have to make sure that I'm on the right pin towards amber. So this pin will be on my right. Okay? So I'm going to do the beep beeps like I normally would with every single board. It's the fastest way to circuit trace your stuff. Just put your thing on continuity. Test it before you go probing, because I've many times been probing and have all these bad points, and this thing's popped out a little bit. Every multimeter is different. This is just a cheapo, but it works very well for what I use it for. While we're waiting on my stupid printer, I posted a message on Mr. Gadget UK's forum in the general chat asking if people, it said, yawn, need coffee. Do Brits drink coffee or tea in the morning? I'm a coffee guy because this is America, where Jesus lives. Most people said I drink tea in the morning, and on 10:30 to 11 I drink coffee throughout the day, and then another at tea time, i.e. dinner. That's usually my last hot drink of the day. So in general, 2 teas and 3 coffees. Mr. Gadget himself says 2 teas for me before I can see straight. Coffee, and then I go back to bed. Mr. Pillock. So most people said it was a toss-up. Coffee or tea. Oh, I know this is a while ago, but I was asked a question by Mr. Jonathan in the UK about who made the plastics for the Amiga. Now, a lot of you guys know on the Amabay forums that a certain somebody is repumping 4000T metals, and people are looking for stuff for plastics. So someone wanted to retool or pay for the tooling, or we're gonna need a Kickstarter, guys, for this. The plastics from like Commodore, like who made them? So he asked me, and I'm like, I don't know. I just used to fix them, make the plastics. So I reached out to Randall, and Randall's like, ask Dave. So I asked Dave. We talked for a while, and learned that Dave moved. Randall's still here. So he's like, reach out to Jeff, or reach out to Bill. So I reached out to Bill Hurd. Everyone's like, reach out to Jeff Porter. So Jeff, I sent you a message. I haven't heard back yet. If I find out anything, I'll post an update. But that's where we're at. We're hunting the old bosses and engineers to see what company made the plastics for Commodore back then, and if so, I bet you they aren't in existence anymore, but maybe. Oh, after 82 minutes, my print job comes out. The whole idea with why I print a chip out is because I am really dumb. Well, I'm actually very smart, but I'm really forgetful because I'm real young. So the idea is circle good, X bad. So I know that one's good, and I know, whoops, I did the wrong chip. So I know that one's good, and H sync is good. And I'll just work down the list. That's one of 20 chips I have to do. I'll check back with you in a minute.
2 hours later.
7:37 p.m. and one chip, U451, has 18 good and 2 bad that interlink into the other destroyed chips. But the majority of them are good. 2 wires to do, but I don't feel like doing them tonight. So I'm going to lay her down flat, let her decompress for a while, and I'll jump back on it tomorrow. So I'll see you guys in a second. Hey, old fat guy, day 463. Probably day 300 on this. I got the 2 sockets in. I got these guys pinned out, and from yesterday and today, U452 and 451, I have 18 good and 15 good. So I have 2 bad on this to wire and 5 on this. But you're thinking, oh, 5 wires is easy. No, that's 5 pins that are bad. They shoot out like spider webs all over the whole board. When I get to these 646s, that's going to be a whole nother nightmare. I forgot 3 chips. 7407 dip 14, a 74 HCT 244 dip 20, and 24 pin dip sockets for these 373 buffers down here. All the other chips I have, phase lock, inverter, 7408, all those things I have, and I've ordered up here. So I'm like, oh, I have a 04. Yeah, I ordered a LS04, F32, 08, HC04. Yeah, that's not the one I needed. I'm going to go on eBay, I'm going to order these things, and I'll see you in a little bit. And in the meantime, I'm going to still work on putting sockets in things. There's no sense in even trying to save the tops because they're literally, you've seen them, obliterated.
I would like to volunteer to take this old bird out of her misery.
Look who's on the bench. Lord, now I remember why I hate working on this board. That's one chip. That one 7407, right? 7407 N, right there. FPU bus reset. It had one busted line that was like from here to here. I had to pull a cap out, take a buster out. It goes to like a little dot on RP609 or RP610. right in the middle there, and it got to here, and then from here I traced it up to this cap, the cap to that 4th pin on the chip. Nothing. So I had to run a little wire right there. I put a black mark on where I'm drawing. I've said it 100 times on this repair in its videos. If you're gonna do a Re Amiga'd off a perfectly good working board, please consider it like your girlfriend. You don't want to just beat the shit out of her. Take your time so she can live on to fight another day. That's what I have to do. One single chip at a time. Hi, from the land of nuts. I managed to pin out 2 of the chips and repair them, and I wrote up a to-do list. Holy crap, it's a lot of stuff. So basically I got to pin out all those chips, and I did print in the past 451, 450, 5 bad, and 2 bad. They are those guys next to the Vidiot RGB side. And yeah, so I gotta fix them. That's my next thing. I also gotta verify 353 and 355 here in the back near serial. I'm not gonna bore you because this video would be 800 hours long if I did, and that's more than I care to do. And that one's good. So let me knock this one out and we'll continue on. Now I gotta do 353, his buddy. This is all floppy control glue logic. It's nice when they're working. When the lines are shit, like these 646s down here, that's gonna be a real pain in the butt. So both of those are good. That's 4 done. You're thinking, man, Chris, you worked on this before. A lot of it was putting stuff on. And once I get this chip done, I think that's the right side of the board minus the delay line. The whole right side of the board has been rebuilt. Hopefully this chip, and I need a keyboard connector. And I apologize that this repair is taking me forever. But I don't work on this one barely at all. I work on it after I'm done repairs, which if you watch my channel and you know my schedule is just crazy. So I don't have a lot of free time for repairs. This is going to a 646 and all sorts of glue logic over here, and this is not going to work. It has a hole that's 90%, so I'm going to drill it. Which reminds me, I got these Mutter tools as a gift. It's a little hand drill set with a little hand drill. Not finger drill. Mr. Tobias B. Mr. Tobias saw my video on the negative 3000 voltage and said, I'm going to send you something as a gift. And he sent me these hand micro drills. And I appreciate it, and I thank you. It's a small handheld drill bit. I've already put one in there. And I'm going to use that to extract this hole. So Mr. Tobias, thank you for your generous gift. And I always use a bit smaller than the ring you're trying to remove. Once you punch through, wipe all the metal on your body, and then you're good to go. So Mr. Tobias B, thank you for your generous Mutter. Thank you, and thank your Mutter for me. I appreciate it. So we'll be using those when we can. Now I need a dip 16. It goes up here on these other alternate ROMs.
2 hours later.
3. The only thing I have left on the right side is the delay line. I can pin it out and then I can buy a new delay line chip to put in there. It's a special chip. Nothing, it's a standard chip, but I don't have any. I'm back. Luckily it only has 5 connections. They're all good. It looks like ass over here, but there's another line here that's broken. Today's interrupter is brought to us by, it's Kevin. asking a question about stuff for the Vampire and licensing with Hyperion or Cloanto. They're not doing that because they're trying to do the Apollo OS based on AROS. There we go. I'm muting my phone because I can't concentrate when this thing goes off like a drug dealer all the time. Oh, God, if you knew how many times my phone went off a day. A good 300 or 400. What was I doing? Dip 14, right? So this is the delay line on the bottom. And you will see on, where the hell am I? This pin and this pin. I bent them, but I solder in this pin, and then I'm going to solder over here, which I did. That way I can pick these back up so they're not pushed in anymore, and it'll hold. I should have put another ball of solder underneath that, but I didn't because I was trying to show you. I'm trying to do this so you can see. I don't know if it's working or not. Now I'm using the chiseled tip, but you can use what you want. Wep has a temperature sensor in the tip of the, each of these tips have a temperature sensor in them. So not only are you not heating up just the arm, you're making sure that your tip is exactly what the digital readout says. And if you don't use it, it'll yell at you and say, hey, your tip is not in correctly. So there's our delay line done. And that's one of many. Now this conglomerate thing here, I'm going to use my special hot glue gun. Here's my hot glue gun. We're just going to heat this up a little bit and pull on it and stick it. Pull on it, stick it. And it's not perfect, but I'll put one more over here. It's just to keep it from being pulled too much. There we go. Get that little string out of there. And to cool it, I just go like that. And there's the next usage. Glue gun and heater in one. So the delay line's fixed. I got some hodgepodge here and there you can barely see on the board. A lot of drag solders. This area hasn't even been considered yet because this is going to be the major part of the work, along with the amber logic that was just ripped from her chest. I got a lot of stuff to fix over here and lots of many things. So I'm not going to bore you with it. Once I get a delay line chip, the right side of the board is done. Doesn't mean I'm populating everything back in because all the logic is going to talk to these things too. So I'm just going to leave the customs out for now. I'll leave Amber sit in her roost until said time. The other ones are dips where I can touch the pins to check for continuity, and I have to get audio connectors and a keyboard connector for this unit too. I have all of the chips that are needed, ceramics and resistors, and these little Chinese caps are gonna, I don't know if they're coming out or not, ones that I need to get it working, and then we'll take it from there. So that is where I'm at on the Re Amiga'd again, and it's been a couple months since I've touched it, and a couple more months since I've done anything on it because I lose track of pace. But now I can cross another off of my thing, so that's done. And then I have ceramics to do, but I'll leave those until all the major chip work is done. It is a lot of work, a lot of work, a lot of capacitors, a lot of just stuff, so much stuff. I gotta pin out vidiots. I put them in, put the chips in, 451 and 452. That's on the left side over here. The clock, the vidiots, all the gals, I gotta pin those out too. I got 3 chips over here to replace too, and then all the resistor, just a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. No, I got many more I got more to write down. So, see you in a second.
Amazing drive, Chris, keep the Amiga dream alive. Please consider joining the Patreon.
Yo, it's Big Snoop, D.O. Double Gears. When people ask me, do I really know Dr. Chris? To which I say, hells yeah, I know him.
Thanks for checking this out. And as Dr. Chris says, thanks for watching, and we hope you learned something.
Wow, that was great.
consider helping Dr. Chris?
Dr. Chris, he's the best there ever was. I can tell you that personally, besides me, of course.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?